Welcome into Leaders Talks, where I chat with members of the top 100 leaders list of financial advisors. I'm Kristin Myers. I'm editor-in-chief of ETF.com, and I'm here today with Amy Hubble, principal investment strategist at Radix Financial. Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Hi, Kristin. Sure. I'm excited about it.
So I want to first start off with a question that I really ask everyone, which is, why did you actually decide to become a financial advisor?
Yeah, I wish it was a good story, and I actually get asked this a lot, especially from students, but it actually happened to me absolutely completely by accident. I actually remember I was in my final year of school, and I was on a spring break trip, and I remember being on spring break, the final semester in college, and I was like, I'm going to go on this trip, and then when I get back, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I mean, that's
Yeah.
where I was in terms of, almost graduating from college, and just luckily there was an alumni friend of the university. His name was Mike Carroll, and he handed me his card one day, and he just said, if you want to come interview, we'll see what we can do. And at his trust company, and I had no idea what a trust company was at the time. I had to Google it. He was an accountant. I was like, I'm not an accountant. I had no idea what I was getting into, and they didn't even, I think, have a real job for me, but they hired me anyway, and as a marketing assistant, which was slash front desk receptionist, and I
Mhm.
just worked myself up from there, and that was 18 years ago. So that's how that happened. But it's hard to duplicate.
You'd be surprised, though, how many
Yeah,
people I've been talking with that kind of just fell into financial advising. I'm actually meeting more people that kind of
yeah,
fall into the profession than I see were actively interested in being a financial advisor. So
yeah.
finance is still very much a male dominated world. A lot of the financial advisors tend to be men. What is your experience like being a woman in this space?
Yeah, it's tough. And I mean, for one issue, I've worked for myself and with only women for now 10 years. But certainly came out of a very male dominated environment. And I don't necessarily ever want to be disparaging to men, because especially the trust company that I went to work for, I have a lot of respect for the guys that brought me in and gave me a job that didn't exist, and really trained me and made me love this profession. But it's certainly been difficult. I think my business partner and I, we were joking that at the beginning of our careers that, you know, we were still required to wear pantyhose in a lot of situations, and just really how much it's changed
Right.
in even just our lifetime. So I really see a lot of benefit. I really believe that women have some specialist skills that make us better financial advisors. Again, nothing against
Yes.
men, and I think there are some wonderful male financial advisors. But as a whole, I really, really think that this is a profession that women can especially excel at.
Yeah. Well, and for everyone watching, I mean, the numbers that you're actually talking about, Amy, that women could be excellent financial advisors or just excellent in the finance
Mhm.
space, we know empirically is also true because female portfolios outperform their male counterparts. So, I mean, the numbers are saying that, women rule and boys drool. And I mean, I'm
If the numbers say it, it must be true.
it is true. It's absolutely true. So part of the reason that you're on this top 100 leaders list is because of your very large use of ETFs in client portfolios. So I have to, of course, ask, why ETFs? Why do you like ETFs so much as an investment vehicle?
Well, I mean, that's an easy answer, right? Cost, liquidity, and much more tax efficient than mutual funds. And we've really
Mhm.
seen that shift away from more tax efficient mutual funds into ETFs. But the other issue with ETFs, and it's something that I'm passionate about too, is that you can really get exposure to anything you want, whether or not it be kind of an obscure index section of the market or a broad section of the market, whether or not you have $100 or $100 million. It's
Right.
so versatile, so liquid that I mean, it's changed the way that I think we do business on the investment side.
So I have to ask, and I ask everyone this, and this isn't investment advice for the viewers, but do you have an ETF, kind of ETF, that you would say is not necessarily your favorite, but one that you're looking at or that you really like?
Yeah, I mean, I am all about making investing as simple as possible. So my favorite ETF is probably VT, Vanguard Total. It's 7 basis points, and you get
Yeah.
everything you could ever want, and then you just sit it and let it go.
You're not the first person to
No,
actually
I
do
wouldn't think
that.
so. It's
You're not the first one. VTI is a very big favorite. Get to own the whole
yeah,
entire market off of one
right.
out of
It's
one
just
fund.
it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah. So last question for you, and this is my fun one. It's also one of my favorites. What would you say is the biggest or the worst or the funniest or weirdest financial mistake that you have ever made?
Yeah, I mean, I've made a lot of investing mistakes. It's how you learn, and anyone that says they've never made an investment mistake in this profession is wrong. Thankfully, I've never had a stock or an ETF go to zero in any of my client accounts, knock on wood, but, my personal accounts, I would never show because it's a variable, you know, pet cemetery. B but one really big thing, and I try to use this as an example a lot, is when I was in high school, and I don't even think this is legal anymore, but my current boyfriend and I applied for a joint credit card to get just some
Oh God.
store store credit card discount, and I never thought about it again until I went to, buy my first house, and there it was right there
Oh
on
no.
on my credit card, and I mean, thankfully, I mean, we're still friends. That didn't relationship didn't work out, but thankfully he did not ruin my credit score and my chance at getting a house, but I'm just in my mind, I'm like, "That could have absolutely ruined me," and so
Yeah.
don't do that, kids.
Yeah. I mean, who among us doesn't have a stupid mistake that we've made in high school or in college that has probably come back to bite us in the end? Well, Amy Hubble, Radix Financial, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Kristen.